Greetings to you. Let us explore the meaning behind the lyrics of Battle of Konotop by Chur. In general, the song tells us about an episode of the Russo-Polish War in the 17th century. The Moscow Tsar has besieged the city of Konotop. Rebellious Cossacks came to break the siege, and a bloody battle ensued. Let us begin.
Одяг вбрався сумний, твій, коло Москви, Копа, глибокі рови. Де 30 тисяч бояр, що грабували міста. Кіннота лежить у Конотопа.
In the middle of the 17th century, a major three-sided conflict was burning in the Eastern Europe. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Tsardom of Moskvi were fighting over influence in the region that would later become Ukraine and Belarus. In the middle of it all were Cossacks, a semi-autonomous group of people which wanted to be fully independent but could not do so for various reasons. Instead, they pledged their allegiance to either side depending on which one was willing to give them more rights, and also frequently rebelled against both. As a part of this war, the siege of Konotop happened. Right away, we are introduced to the aftermath of the battle. It did not go well for Muscovites, and not only have they lost a significant number of soldiers, a lot of those soldiers were also noblemen. It was said that the Tsar has appeared publicly in full mourning gown, and that defenses were constructed in Moscow in fear that the Cossacks would invade. Now, the figures presented in the song are considered to be too big by modern historians. It seems that the popular narrative has blown the Muscovite defeat out of proportion. Still, it also looks like it was a devastating psychological blow and was effective in this regard.
3 дні, 3 ночі, без сну, без упину, із руських земель утікають москвини, та Соснівка червона, Тече боярська в ній кров, чорна борюка летить з-під копит, мало сонця на шаблях блищить, орда та військо козаків рубають ворогів.
The Ruthenian lands mentioned in the song are the aforementioned territories of modern Ukraine and Belarus. At different times, the term Ruthenian has been applied to somewhat different territories, but almost always it was somewhere between modern Poland and Russia. On to the events themselves. A Muscovite army besieged the city of Konotop after a successful march towards the enemy. They hoped for another easy victory, but it proved to be more difficult. The military commander of the city put up a good fight, stalled the attackers for more than 2 months, inflicted thousands of casualties, and forced the attacking army to split their forces by moving the main camp elsewhere. Eventually, Cossacks, that is, the allies of the besieged, arrived and stationed themselves near the river of Soснівка. The Muscovites sent a detachment to defeat the new arrivals, and in this detachment a number of nobles were present. It was quite an elite band of warriors. Unfortunately for them, the Cossacks were well prepared and cunning too. They launched a number of unexpected attacks, using the river to their advantage. In the end, they lured the Muscovite cavalry into pursuing a false retreat, and then turned around to strike back. At the same time, their Crimean allies advanced from the flanks, utterly crushing the elite detachment. As a result, the siege was lifted and the Russians retreated.
Та Соснівка червона,
Князь is a Slavic title of nobility, most often translated as prince in English. Князь Семен Пожарский was one of these noblemen. An experienced commander with a pretty good military record, no doubt it was expected that he would triumph over the Cossacks. Alas, the assumption was wrong. He was captured alive and brought before the Crimean Khan. They tried to make the Knyaz show submissiveness, but the proud Muscovite cursed, showed disrespect, and presumably even spat in the face of his captor. For this, he was beheaded, and his head was sent back to his superiors. While it was a major victory for the Cossacks, such triumphs were few and far between. All in all, the war went in favor of the Muscovites, who annexed many of the Ruthenian territories. This became the base for making Russia a truly major power, and led to the weakening of both the Cossacks and Poland-Lithuania. That's all for the meaning behind the lyrics of Battle of Konotop by Chur. All the links to the band are in the description, and thanks for watching.